in Boston today to do some work with Laugh Boston. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I have shows tonight, a show tonight at 8 p.m. and tomorrow at 8 and 10:15. So I hope people get a chance to come and see and meet me and laugh at me and take pictures with me after. I'm very friendly and I'm a good poser.
I heard about that. Was your mom a beauty pageant? Or?
My mom was from the University of Wisconsin, and she was a Badger Beauty.
Oh.
Nice.
I don't know if they still have that because it seems like it's, maybe not politically correct anymore.
Sure.
But yeah, she was a Badger Beauty, and she told me how to pose when I was 4. And I've been posing the same ever since, and it's very easy. And when I teach people, they say, oh my God, why have I not known about this before? So
it's something that people pick up and
yes.
I'll have to take some notes.
Same with like taking iPhone photos. Like I really like it when you can find a tall guy to take it because you like it high and down.
Right,
like,
right.
Take high and then down. Everyone looks better.
I have never considered this. So do you pose for comfort or?
What do you mean? No, I pose to look thin and fabulous.
Of course.
Yeah, what you do is first of all, if you're taking a group photo, always try to be in the middle because then your face will look the best and half your body is cut on either side. So you'll always look thinner. It's when you're the one on the edge that's always the worst because then it's just like an arm.
Literally taking notes right now.
Yes,
No, this is great. I'm seriously.
Just always get in the middle. Don't tell your friends you're getting in the middle. Just get in the middle and you'll be so much happier with the results.
Excuse me, I need to be in the middle.
Yes.
And this tall guy, could you please take this photo?
Yes, exactly.
Very cool.
I'm just as shallow as your generation. I'm totally into the
come
fact.
on now.
No, I love that. You know what the difference is that nobody can ever be accused of being conceited anymore.
That's true. That's very
when
true.
I was in high school, that was the meanest thing that someone could say to you. You're so conceited, but everybody's conceited. How can you're conceited? You're posting about your what you
it's
look
cool
like.
To be conceited now.
Yeah, everyone has their own thing, and you're looking for compliments constantly. So I think it's all good. I think it's a great thing.
It is. That's what our generation is all about. The movement.
The selfie generation.
That's right.
Great.
So how did you get into comedy and was this something that you always wanted to do or?
I knew that I was funny. I knew that I had a talent for imitating people, but I grew up in LA, so I was very jaded about the business even as a kid. So I didn't want to major in it, drama or anything in college. And I went to USC, which is very expensive, and so I didn't want to end up being a waitress at 27 trying to be an actress. So I didn't pursue it until more towards the end of my college career. And then I started to get kind of panicked about what I was going to do after. And my favorite thing to do was to sit on these steps of my sorority house the day after a big party. Our party night was Thursday night. So it was like Friday morning breakfast with Heather became like a thing that people were always like, oh my God, we didn't miss it, did we? Because I would reenact the whole night and talk about who was scamming on whom. And scamming is like hooking up, making out, whatever, getting drunk, who puked at the bar, whatever. So that I was like, how can I make this a career? Because this is what I love to do and I don't want it to end.
So you just dished it all out on the
the
steps.
So then shortly after I got a job right out of school and it was awful. And so luckily they fired me. Being fired is sometimes the greatest thing, especially when you're a good Catholic girl, you'll never quit. So you have to be fired. And then I started pursuing stand-up and I went through the whole program at the Groundlings Theater, which is a sketch and improv theater in LA.
Being a comedian, that, to me, is just it's so tough, and you're putting yourself out there. I think it's awesome. It
is one of by far the hardest things to do, but it's such a great gift too in this business to have because you only have to depend on yourself. If you're doing a play, you got to have the theater, you got to have the people pulling the curtain, all that. But with stand-up, you really just need your spot and your mic. And when you get to a certain level, it's a great way to make money in between TV shows and movies and stuff.
Now, I love how free you can talk about these things. I mean, I know you said you have 2 boys, and I know you have a daughter. Do you let your kids...
see my stuff?
Yeah, no, you don't. Okay.
If it's like if it was a funny sketch or something where I'm doing something goofy or like dressed up, then sometimes I would. But I know I definitely didn't let them see my stand-up special on Showtime because I talk so much about them. And I said, you guys can watch it when you're 16 because at 16 they'll watch it and they'll go, yeah, I was an asshole at 9. Like they'll know and they'll have the perspective. But I just feel like it might hurt their feelings a little bit, my brutal honesty about them.
Do they know kind of what you do? Like, all right, mommy's got to go to work. Do they understand that, like, people are watching their mom on stage doing hilarious stuff?
Yeah, when I remember, like, you know, my younger son really is manipulative and, like, makes me feel bad for working and stuff. So I'm like, I have to go to work. And he goes, oh, I have to go to work and talk about sex. And I'm like, oh, this is so bad. Like, I'm like, wow. Because when they told us the name of the show, All About Sex, I was like, oh, God, could they change that name, you know? But whatever, you know, it is true. And with my other son, we were watching this new show called Repeat After Me, and Wanda Sykes was a guest on it. And they said, oh, she's one of the funniest female comedians and everything. And my son's like, I've never heard of her. And I said, well, that's because you're young, but she's really, you know, she's really funny. He's like, well, why aren't you on this show? And I go, well, I'm not as famous as Wanda Sykes. And he's like, well, I've never heard of her. But if I wasn't your kid, I would have never heard of you either. And I'm like, all right,
oh my God.
You're right. And then with my, like, yeah, and we watched The Bachelor, you know, and my son's been watching it for like quite a few years now. And it's like a great way to know what my younger son's type is like who he chooses. He just always chooses like the classic blonde, you know.
That's the test.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, you know, you really think she's cuter than this one, like, you know. And but I said to him the other day, I said to the 12-year-old, he's into golf and everything, and I said, okay, Drake, so what if I call you up? You're like 27. I hooked you up with some business. You're doing pretty well. And I said, hey, Mike Fleiss, producer of Bachelor, would like you to be the Bachelor. Would you do it? And he's like, yes. He goes, but I do not want them to set up a group date at the golf course because you know they'll do that, Mom. They'll be like, Drake likes to golf. And then all the girls will be like, woo, we're golfing! Like running around. He goes, that will be so annoying. I definitely don't want that. And I want my best friend to tell them that when I'm playing video games, I don't want to be disturbed and not to bring me a snack unless I ask for it.
Wow.
I'm like, God, good luck, buddy. You sound awful.
Hey, yes,
good luck
priorities.
finding someone. You're going to be the biggest asshole bachelor ever.
It sounds like a great bachelor.
Yes.
Sign him up.
Yes, it sounds like he's just dickish enough to get through
Right,
it. Yeah.
right. Start him young. That's great. I also wanted to ask about this. I heard there's some rumors, and I know you hang out with some of the Real Housewives of Orange County.
Yes.
Is that true? Were you going to be a member? Or
no, I was never going to be a member.
Right.
I mean, people have asked for one thing, Orange County is very far from where I live, and if I was on the show, it would just be me stuck on this 405 freeway, and everyone talking behind my back that why am I so late for Chardonnay and tapas? Like that would be the storyline. So that would not work out. But no, I am friends with Tamara and Heather Dubrow. They are like real friends that I call, and if I do a show down then they'll come and see it. And I love watching the Housewives, and I do like to get into it. I mean, every year I want to give it up and I can't. And but with Beverly Hills, that's probably would be the one that I would join. But it would be like, I'm so not wealthy like that. I was saying like, what would it be like if I joined the Beverly Hills Housewives? And Yolanda would probably be like, oh, I like her little house. It reminds me of our houses in Holland that our maids used to live in. Like, it would be so awkward. And then, like, I was all, oh my God, and then Lisa Vanderpump would be like, well, Jiggy absolutely loved it. It was so tiny. He felt like a German shepherd trotting around. Like, we had to go all the way into the valley. I had to get a passport. And then the husband's cooking meat outside. It's so weird. What is that, a barbecue? I don't even know. Like, I mean, it would be so awkward. Like if I had a party at my house, people just they would just all their whole confessionals would be how poor I am. So I don't think that would work.
Yeah,
confessionals.
Yeah,
that's the best part.
Yeah,
those were some great impressions, by the way. That was
spot on. So, what kind of is your approach to balancing work and personal life?
I just really. I think any working mom has a lot of guilt about missing stuff, and I certainly do. And it's weird because a man doesn't. Like if a man's providing for his family while working, he's working. He's like, I'm working. I'm good. But a woman is, when she's providing, she's still just like, oh my God, I wasn't there for that. I feel so bad. And it's nothing against the guys. It's just like we have this part of our DNA that we can't not feel badly about it. So for me, I really just try to really enjoy the quality time. But I'll do things where I'll like wake up really early, fly straight. Like when I fly in to LA, I'm going straight to the baseball field. Like the car is dropping me off with my suitcase to the Little League baseball field to watch the game, because I'm already missing another game this weekend. So I do feel badly about it, but at the same time, I'm so grateful for my life. I mean, there aren't a lot of female stand-ups who are married with kids, and that is because it's such a hard life on a mother. It just doesn't really work unless you have someone like my husband and the support system I had from my parents and from my mother-in-law and stuff, that I can go leave and do these things for a few days here and there, and it's like the best of both worlds. It's really great.
Yeah, what does your husband think of your work? And
I married such the perfect person because he has never been like, don't talk about me like that. I mean, Chelsea used to rip on my husband all the time on the show. And I would kind of get upset, and he's like, who cares? We're comedians. You're a comedian. He's not a comedian. And, but then it's great because then I can tell my kids, look, Dad has always accepted all the things I say about him on stage and in the books. And you guys have to too, because that is what gives us this lifestyle. It's like, not that it's that fancy. It's on Beverly Hills, but it's like we have a pool and an Xbox, and they go to they go to a nice Catholic school, and my son gets to play golf, and so now they get it, and they're always like, that's fine. Even my son's like, no, take the job, Mom. I'm like, shut up. Like, like if I'm going, I don't know if I want to go to fly here for this amount of money or whatever, I'll just talk to my husband about it. And my son will be like, wait, Mom, if it's a job, you should take it. I'm like, God, just to keep him in like the lap of luxury.
Do you have like a go-to topic that you can always like resort to on stage? Like, all right, this isn't working out.
I have like lots of like one-liner jokes that if something happens or if I'm thrown, like someone's being obnoxious and has to get escorted out and I'm kind of thrown, then I just have like one-liner jokes that kind of stand on their own that I can like get back into it. And then once I hear the laughter again, then I can get back into it. But I don't really get heckled very much. I get what I call like supportive drunk heckling. Like I'll get girls that are very excited to be there and get really drunk. And then like in the middle of my story, we'll be like, what? And I'm like, oh God. And I don't want to kick them out. I'm hoping that like the person that works at the club will recognize it and tell them to be quiet. Because then one time I said to the girl, I go, look, girl, I really appreciate your support and that you've been drinking since 2 to see me, but I really kind of need you to like not yell in the middle of my bits. And she was all pouting and feeling bad, and the guy was all embarrassed. And then I start to feel bad. Then I'm like, oh, but she was obnoxious. So I'm not like some people tear people apart in the audience, and I never do. I don't make fun of the audience. I don't like rip on someone's outfit or anything.
I guess I'd rather have drunken support than being heckled.
Yeah. I mean, at least I'm not getting heckled like you suck. Because I mean, what's great is that at this level, people are coming to see you and they know who you are and they know your story, like know your background. So when I talk about my husband, they like know I have a husband, and that's really good. I feel like the heckling, that stuff kind of happens more when you're just doing a set and people don't know who you are and people are going to the comedy club to be assholes. Any
other projects you have after this or doing anything?
Yeah, I'm doing another show for TLC that's going to be coming out in May. That hasn't been announced yet, but that's like a comedy-driven show too. And then hopefully All About Sex will come back. And just a lot of stand-up around the country coming up. And hopefully some other things in the works, so we'll see. But it's been great post Chelsea Lately life so far. So far so good.
Good. Awesome. That's awesome.
All right, well, we're going to be posting and tweeting out this interview in its entirety and everything that Heather's been talking about, upcoming stuff. We're just going to link out to it all, just all of it. So anyone who is interested, which should be everyone, we'll be posting. So go check that out. You are listening to BU in the Morning, and we will be right back after this break. Heather, thank you so much for coming in and talking with us.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Enjoy Boston.
Thanks.